for 200?
Not right now, because obviously we've got the game on Friday night, so 6-day turnaround. We've got ourselves back in a position to vie for a final spot, so there's a lot on the line, and that's where the focus is at the moment.
Something to be proud of, though?
Yeah, certainly something that I'm proud of. I said earlier in the week that I remember the induction being a new draftee, and the guys there saying that there's maybe 2% of you might play 200 games. So to be part of that group is something I'm proud of.
And nice little bit of symmetry given who you're playing on Friday. And do you still sort of feel any of that attachment given your family background with the Hawks?
There will always be attachment given the family background, I think, with Dad and Nunal. So it is what it is, and it's part of my family. And it's quite ironic that we play them this week.
Do they feel it about it? When the Swans go against the Hawks, are they Sydney or Hawthorn?
It's the same questions. I think they certainly want me to do really well and play my best. I think John Senior has always been a passionate Hawthorn man and always wants to see them win. So I'm not sure where his loyalties lie in terms of the win-loss, but I know that they'll be rooting for me.
Is it a bit strange how the career's panned out with moving up to Sydney, and there's a new rivalry in a sense with Hawthorn, like with the grand finals with Buddy, now with Tom Mitchell? Things are starting to evolve, and yourself personally with the Lynx?
I mean it's been a pretty good rivalry over the years. They've been a really successful team, and we've been up there as well, having won a premiership and lost one to them in 2014. So there's always plenty of passion and spirit within the games that we play, and I'm sure Friday night will be no different.
Could you envisage how well your career in Sydney would have turned out when you came up here? You'd played, I think, 13 games in a couple of years with Hawthorn. You had to establish yourself. Could you have imagined that you would have placed in the top 3, the best and fairest, every single year you've been here and established the kind of career you've had? Yeah,
not really. I think looking back, the decision to come up here was pretty easy given the opportunity, but I think the mindset was just go up there, give it the best shot. Worst case scenario is I have 3 years experience living in another state, and I'll come back a bit more well-rounded. So to be here after having played 200 games, 13 obviously with Hawthorn, 13 ordinary games, which my teammates continually remind me about, but it's something I'm proud of.
Was there a part of you in those early days that may have thought you might have gone back to Hawthorn, or was there the last time you might have ever thought of that?
No, not really. Once I moved up here, I certainly felt comfortable and very fortunate that the club showed faith in me and were able to give me the opportunity to play and continue to flourish. So I'm very grateful for that and want to continue to try and repay the faith.
You were eyeing this one off, weren't you? You had that week off earlier. You wanted to play this one for your training, weren't you?
Look, not exactly. I think Saturday night at the SCG would have been perfect, but Friday night MCG against the Hawks, it doesn't get much better than that, so looking forward to it.
Captain this season for the first time there. What were you thinking after 0 and 6? I mean, what was going through your head there?
There was a lot going through my head. Obviously, pretty tough start, baptism of fire the first 6 rounds. But fortunately, I've been blessed again with a great coaching staff and leadership group and teammates that have been able to lock in and turn it around. It's been really great to be part of, and it's been a real team effort across the board from the board down. So. We'll no doubt at the end of the season be able to reflect and pick out the things that were the catalyst for turning the season around and use them going forward. But at the moment, it's just one foot in front of the other.
Did you ever question, captaincy, what have I got myself into, and how did you get through that period personally?
Absolutely. You question, what you're doing and if you're the right man for the job, and given 0 and 6, absolutely questioning what was happening. But I think, as I said earlier, I'm very fortunate to have a good support network around me, and my family and friends outside the club, and then within the club, the support from the board down, the coaching staff and teammates made it pretty easy.
How often what was going through your mind, like far out, how do I get these guys up? Like, as a leader, I need to step up. Did you question that a fair few times? Like, how do I get these guys up, and what do I have to do?
Absolutely, questioning that. Still am. I mean, it's no different now compared to when it was 0-6. But I think just as being a leader within the football club, I think you're always questioning that, what you can do to help your teammates, what you can do to help the team, and those questions were certainly asked after 0-6 and pretty pointed internally.
Hodgie applies, probably in a few other guys that you would have played with at Hawthorn still there from that time. Do you ever have any contact with him or any of the other Hawthorn players of your generation there?
Not really. When I see them, obviously, but not really outside of that. It's been a pretty long time, and you know, as they know, once you get into the season and the routine that is AFL, you sort of get lost in your own world a little bit, so the contact, I guess, is not really there, but certainly got a lot of respect for them and have learnt a lot from them in my early days, which I've carried right through my career.
You get a lot of confidence from every win, but given the calibre of opposition on Friday, the rivalry, the venue's pretty important come September. What would you get out of a win on Friday night?
Oh, well, I think it's obviously a huge game, and I think Hawthorn, you know, they've beaten Adelaide, could have beaten Geelong, GWS, you know, arguably the informed team in the comp. So it's going to be a big game, and we know that their best is right up there, and as is ours, we believe. So it's going to be a huge game, and we're going to have to bring our best to be able to get the win.
They've won a couple of very tight ones here, I think by 5 and 6 points the last couple of games, and they were quite successful here keeping the ball away from you last time, weren't they? Just chipping it around. How do you kind of try and counteract that if they try and play that style of game again?
Yeah, our defensive structure is going to have to be right on, making sure that we can try and prevent them from chipping it around and closing their outlets, and you know, forcing them down the line if that's possible. But it's a real strength of theirs, and another one which they've shown is being able to play players in all different positions. So, you know, you saw Gunston going down back last week, so it's going to be a really interesting game, and you know, hopefully we can get on top in that area.
What else did you learn from that game here at the SCG when they beat you?
It was a while ago, but I think, you know, in the crunch time of the game, there's a lot to be taken out of it. How to play that sort of game state, the last few minutes of the game, what we could have done better there. I think since that we've done pretty well in those scenarios, which has been good. So certainly a bit to be taken out of that, and then obviously that ball movement stuff and making sure that we start the game well and bring that intensity from the first bounce.
How do you try and contain Tom Mitchell? He seems to have stepped up a level since he's left here, hasn't he, in terms of just his ball accumulation?
Yeah. It's been pretty incredible, but I think if you had have asked anyone at the Swans, it's not a surprise. He's always been able to find the footy, and he's a tremendous player. So he's going to be one we have to keep our eye on and try and nullify his influence. But as a team, we just want to get on top in that area.
How do you nullify him, and what would be a win for you guys, like keeping under 25, 20, like what's a pass mark, and how do you?
I think a pass mark will be on the scoreboard at the end of the day. It's really about one player these days. We will have to nullify his influence inside, but it'll be a team effort in terms of trying to you know, win the contested possessions, the clearances, get the game played in our half.
Do you go a little bit harder at him? Do you go a little bit
harder at him? Possibly, but again, he's shown in the whole year really that he's pretty hard to stop getting the ball. So you know, we know him pretty well, and we'll try a few things to stop him. But at the end of the day, it's going to be our mids versus their mids.